I used to have several sites. Now I kind of like the grower's edge. It gives me that cash max. You can tell it which markets you're looking for, and it will tell you what your highest net back is based on the price they're paying at that time and the basis that they're paying. And that's pretty handy because I don't have to go to so many different sites.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name is Cody Bills. Today is the 30th. It's a Thursday. We had export sales out this morning, and that helped lift the market. Let's turn over to the grain hedge trading platform and see where we close off the day. Corn trading up 6 3/4 cents on the December contract. Soybeans up 8 1/4 cents on the November contract. And wheat in Chicago here up only a quarter penny here, still below $5 at $4.96.5. Now we do have some news out this morning. We did get 140,000 metric tons of soybeans sold for new crop to unknown destination. So that was a positive export sales here on top of the weekly export sales report. Both of them, nice piece of news here helping to lift the markets. When you look at the spring wheat tour, we did have expectations that they were going to release their yields. Now they did come out with their findings here, and it showed that spring wheat yield is expected to be around 49.9 bushels per acre there in North Dakota, up from 48.6 last year. So that may surprise people a little bit, coming in with a higher than last year yield number for that spring wheat in North Dakota. It's also much higher than the 45.2 bushels per acre 4-year moving average. When you look at Durham, they are expecting also a large crop there, 39.2 bushels per acre versus 36.6 bushels per acre in 2014. So all in all, when you look at that spring wheat crop tour, those sort of yield estimates are going to put pressure here on spring wheat, most likely in the weeks to come. When you look at export sales that were released this morning, you'll notice soybeans and wheat both beating analyst expectations here for old crop. Corn coming in here within analyst expectations, booking 364,000 metric tons. Analysts were expecting between 200 to 400,000 metric tons. This was up sharply from last week's abysmal 223,000 metric tons, which was a marketing year low. So we are seeing a little pickup here in sales. The best sale that I thought today was really old crop soybeans. I mean, we've been getting very, very measly little sales here, some cancellations from time to time during this point in the marketing year. Last week, we only had 80,000 metric tons. This week, we saw some demand in there for old crop soybeans, booking 416,000 metric tons. That was doubling the high side of analyst expectations, so that was very positive here. And you'll see in the weekly chart here in our overall forecast where we need to be to meet USDA expectations. You'll notice that we are ahead of pace at this point here for soybeans. And then also wheat, you'll notice 699,000 metric tons, so coming in about 100,000 metric tons over analyst expectations and picking it up over last week's 502,000 metric ton sale. So that is very positive. I think in general this all helped lift the grains here today. Let's take a look at these old crop soybean cumulative export sales. You'll notice that we did pick up this week. Each one of these red bars represents total cumulative export sales here for the year. And you'll notice the green bar is what we need to meet USDA expectations. The blue line here is last year's sales. So we're well over last year's sales. We've booked 51.1 million metric tons this year. Analysts is expecting, or we would expect, around 50.4 million metric tons during this time of the year. So we are ahead of analyst expectations here, and that's very positive to see good sales for old crop this week. When you look at corn, it's a slightly different scenario. You'll notice that we are running below last year's export sales and also below the expectations of what we need to have sold during this time of the year to meet USDA expectations. Right now, we would expect to have around 48.4 million metric tons sold. Right now, we only have 47.1. So we are behind pace here, and we're going to need to see better export sales to meet USDA expectations. When you look at new crop, we had some very, very good sales here this week, but it's not enough to get us back in line with the pace that we typically see. Corn and soybeans are both behind the 4-year moving average substantially when it comes to new crop cumulative sales on the books. This week we had 443,000 metric tons of new crop corn sales. We had 899,000 metric tons of of new crop soybean sales. Both of these very positive, but when you look at these charts, take a look, you'll notice these are the cumulative new crop outstanding export sales, and the black line is this year. So this year you'll notice we are behind the 4-year moving average, where the next closest year is 2010, but this year we're just behind what we typically see, and it was good to get some sales, but we still need a lot more to catch up. When you look at corn, same sort of scenario. The dashed red line, that's the 4-year moving average, and you'll notice that we're just nowhere near that. We're about 56% of that. So we're going to need to see a pickup in new crop corn and new crop soybean sales if we're going to get on pace to meet overall expectations. Other than that, guys, that wraps up today's show. If you have any questions about what we talked about, please give us a call, 877-472-4607. We'll see you here Friday for the weekly wrap-up.